In the ancient kingdom of Persia, King Xerxes ruled from his royal throne in the citadel of Susa, overseeing a vast empire that stretched from India to Kush, which historically was located in today's southern Egypt and northern Sudan. During his reign, King Xerxes hosted a lavish feast for all his nobles, officials, military leaders, and princes from the 127 provinces under his rule. This extravagant celebration lasted for 180 days, showcasing the immense wealth and power of the Persian Empire. Following this grand feast, King Xerxes hosted a 7-day banquet in the enclosed garden of his palace for all the people in the citadel of Susa, from the least to the greatest. The garden was adorned with white and blue linen hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple material to silver rings on marble pillars. Gold and silver couches stood on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Wine was served in goblets of gold, each different from the other, and the royal wine was abundant, in keeping with the king's liberality. Meanwhile, Queen Vashti held a separate banquet for the women in the royal palace. On the 7th day of the feast, when King Xerxes was in high spirits from wine, he commanded his 7 eunuchs to bring Queen Vashti, his wife, before him, wearing her royal crown, to display her beauty to the people and nobles. But Queen Vashti refused, defying the king's command. This act of disobedience angered King Xerxes, and he consulted with his wise men on how to deal with Queen Vashti's insubordination. One of the king's advisors, Memucan, suggested that Vashti's actions would set a precedent of disobedience among the women in the kingdom and advised the king to remove her from her position as queen. Memucan also proposed that a decree be issued throughout the kingdom, stating that all women should honor their husbands, both great and small. Impressed by Memucan's advice, King Xerxes issued a royal decree that Vashti should no longer be queen, and that her royal position should be given to another woman who was more worthy. This decree was written in the laws of Persia and Media, which could not be repealed. After the decree was issued, the king's attendants suggested that beautiful young virgins be sought out from all corners of the empire to find a new queen to replace Vashti. Among the young women chosen was Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. Esther was taken to the citadel of Susa and entrusted to Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem. Esther found favor with Haggai, who provided her with special treatments and food. She did not reveal her Jewish identity, following Mordecai's instructions. After a whole year of preparation, each maiden was presented to the king. Esther's beauty and grace captivated King Xerxes, and he chose her to be his queen, not knowing her true background. Meanwhile, Mordecai, who sat at the king's gate, overheard a plot to assassinate King Xerxes. He informed Esther, who relayed the information to the king, giving credit to Mordecai. The conspirators were apprehended and executed, and Mordecai's deed was recorded in the king's chronicles. In the meantime, King Xerxes appointed a man named Haman to a position of great authority, elevating him above all the other nobles. Haman expected all to bow down to him, but Mordecai, true to his Jewish faith, refused to kneel before him. Enraged by Mordecai's defiance, Haman plotted to annihilate not only Mordecai but all the Jews throughout the kingdom. Haman convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree for the extermination of the Jews, and the kingdom was thrown into turmoil. Learning of this decree, Mordecai urged Esther to intercede with the king on behalf of her people. Esther hesitated, fearing for her life, as approaching the king without being summoned could lead to death. Through Mordecai's encouragement and the prayers of her people, Esther found the courage to approach the king. She invited Xerxes and Haman to a banquet, where she revealed her Jewish heritage and petitioned the king to spare her people. In a twist of fate, the same night, the king found he owed Mordecai a debt of gratitude for uncovering the assassination plot, which had been recorded in the chronicles but had gone unrewarded. The next day, Haman, intending to seek the king's permission to hang Mordecai, was instead ordered to honor Mordecai by parading him through the city. At Esther's second banquet, she exposed Haman's treachery, and the king, in his fury, had Haman hanged on the very gallows meant for Mordecai. With Haman's downfall, Esther pleaded with the king to revoke the decree against the Jews. Although the king's decrees could not be rescinded, he issued another decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. On the appointed day, the Jews successfully defended themselves, and their enemies were defeated. In honor of their deliverance, Mordecai instituted the Feast of Purim to be celebrated annually as a time of feasting and joy, giving gifts to the poor and sharing with one another. The story of Esther stands as a testament to courage, faith, and divine providence, illustrating how one woman's bravery saved her people from destruction. After these events, King Xerxes honored Mordecai, the man who had saved his life, by giving him Haman's position and authority. Mordecai became a trusted advisor to the king, known and respected throughout the kingdom. Esther continued to reign as queen, and her influence grew as she and Mordecai worked together to promote peace and prosperity in Persia. The Jewish people, once facing annihilation, now lived in safety and security thanks to Esther's courage and Mordecai's wisdom. The Feast of Purim became a yearly celebration, reminding the Jewish people of their deliverance from destruction. They remembered Esther, the queen who risked her life to save her people, and Mordecai, the wise counselor who stood firm in his faith. The story of Esther is not just a historical account, but also a powerful example of faith, courage, and the providence of God. It teaches us that even in the darkest of times, when it seems like all hope is lost, there is always a way forward if we trust in the Lord and act with courage and conviction. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that get notified each time we upload a new video. God bless you.